This is Lon Phillips of LSUODYSSEY.com. I just want to upload this video because I have some interesting news I thought would be pretty cool for LSU fans to hear. None of this is 100% confirmed until people announce things and that type of thing, but with the evidence I have to back up a lot of these things, it's quite obvious what will be happening. For instance, Eli Ricks. I believe he's going to be staying at LSU. We've been following that story for a while. I don't know if we were the first to hear about that or what, but we heard about that way long ago, and right around this time, the Pelini firing, to be honest. And so it was kind of something that we dug into and was kind of like concerned about, but I didn't want to say anything. And then seeing the whispers, it was just like I got to dispel some of this, and say that yes, there is some smoke to this. There's some fire to the smoke. This isn't just some crazy whispers. This does have some roots. But seeing that he is enrolled in the spring semester, which is just fantastic. Seeing that, which I knew when I posted that. It doesn't matter, those type of things, if you're enrolled, but at the same time, it is wasting quite a chunk of money. And I'm not exactly sure of the rules, but he potentially couldn't be able to re-enroll somewhere for the rest of the spring, maybe because of the rules. I'm not sure, but Eli is enrolled here through the spring. He's practicing. The only thing I can see, and the only reason I believed that transfer stuff, is maybe things aren't working out far from home for him. Maybe he's just not feeling it, and things have been tough, and it's a tough moment right now after playing on such a crappy defense and having to do so much dirty work for the defense. I mean, Eli was an absolute superstar, fulfilled every hype and then some. He went beyond. I predicted 4 picks and 1 interception returned for a touchdown before the season. I wanted to put like 3 or 4. I wanted every touchdown. Every interception to be taken back for a touchdown. But I was like, let's be realistic. Okay, 1. But no, he went up me there. He went with 2 and 4 interceptions, 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. That's why you got to pay attention to our LSU Odyssey projections before the season. Anybody who bought the almanac, there were many of you, they know. We may have not gotten the season record right, getting our complete asses destroyed, and not to mention, the schedule changed, I believe, twice, maybe even 3 times, 4 times, with the Alabama and Florida games having to be rescheduled, and the Missouri game having to switch from home to away. A lot changed from our initial almanac predictions. But in those almanac predictions, the individual predictions, actually, many of them went through. Ali Gay is literally like boom, boom, like exact to the 2020 profile. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts. But that's why you got to pay attention to him. And that's why we don't mess around when we do this stuff. This is hardcore analysis. We know what we're doing. We know what we're seeing, and we know that LSU has a lot of talent coming in 2021. That's what we know. LSU has a ton of talent coming in 2021. But for me, there's only one really, really just player that takes it over the top. You've got Derek Stingley. We know that. We know how great he is. We know how dominant he is. But he's almost become content in a weird way. And I almost want him to play offense half the time to kind of maybe just fire him up, get him more involved in the game, because they're not throwing at him. But when they are, he's kind of been asleep on a few of these routes. It's very weird. He had a few really sweet plays this year. That punch out on Seth Williams, I believe, against Auburn for the touchback. It was about to be a touchdown. Boom, punches it out for the touchback. Unbelievable play. But you got Stingley. You've got Eli Ricks, though, on the other side. And that's the thing is with Eli, with Derek, it's superstar out there. And here's the thing with Derek Stingley out there, the quarterback, he's like, okay, I'm just going to take shots at Eli. Now, after Eli did this, you know, they were mostly just picking on the slot guys, anyway. They were mostly just going right to the slot guy anyway, just boom, boom, picking on Cordell Flott, picking on Damone Clark. I expect that to continue, and so that's why we need to have see if Jay Ward can play nickel, perhaps. See if Sage Ryan can do it, because I think Sage Ryan could be a fantastic nickel cover corner as a freshman. That'd be crazy if Sage Ryan was just a specialist as a freshman, just played nickel cover corner, and the defense is like, okay, we destroyed them last year doing this, let's go at them. And Sage Ryan is up to the task. How sick would that be? Pay attention to that. Sage Ryan could be that starting nickel corner for 2021 LSU Tigers. I mean, if I'm DC, I'm trying him out at that spot. Why the hell not? He's played it in high school repeatedly. He's fantastic when they go in the spread, and throw him out there. It's bound to be better than what Cordell Flott or Damone Clark produced. Jabril Cox was a mixed bag in nickel, but overall in coverage, he was fantastic for a linebacker. We can't fault him whatsoever. Cox was fantastic in his 1 year at LSU. But as for Eli Ricks, I predict he's going to be staying. I really do. I think here he's a superstar. He became a superstar. I can only see that star going higher and higher as more quarterbacks are going to throw right at this guy. He has a chance to get 7, maybe even 8 picks this year. I'm not even joking. Because they can't escape his coverage or Stingley's. They're going to have to throw at one of those guys. So either Stingley's going to get 3 or 4 this year, while Ricks gets 5 or 6, or vice versa. But one guy is going to get into that Stingley 2019 range, especially if we can go into the CFP. Then there's always the chance for more stat padding, when you play extra games like that. I'm higher on LSU in 2021 than Snoop Dogg on a Sunday morning right here with Willie Nelson and his tour bus, like Matthew McConaughey in tow as well. So that's how high we are on 2021 LSU. We've got McConaughey, we got Willie Nelson, and we got Snoop Dogg all in a tour bus together. Do I have to include the Steve Miller Band and Slightly Stupid or something like that? But no, that is how much we love this 2021 team. And Eli Ricks is a huge part of it. But is he, thinking of transferring because there isn't a defensive coordinator? Is that what it's about? Well, because here's the thing. LSU have no problem getting a proper suitor, but is it going to be the right name? Are the optics going to be right? Are kids going to react to the optics correct? Are they going to freak out and are they going to leave because, oh, they got this guy or they got this guy and we don't like the optics of that? So it just seems like LSU have to go young here. That LSU have to go slightly on the cheaper side. They don't have to, but I just feel like they're going to, or wanting to look for that, because they're gonna have to fill out 2 other positions and they have to do it quick, and so they're gonna be in a little bit of a desperation bind. So they're gonna be maybe having to pay a little bit more for the safeties and linebackers coaches than they normally would, or they could just promote within, like I've written about extensively on LSUODYSSEY.com. Oh, what's up, Mary Rose? Mary Rose. What up? I don't know. They literally, there's many avenues 2021 team can go here. I really think for that defense, though, there's only one guy. Well, okay, I take that back. There's two guys. There's two guys I like for that job. Well, no, actually, I take that back. There's three guys I like for that job. There's three guys that if it were up to me and they had like no ties and were like, I want LSU, it would be very interesting to have to choose from. Glenn Schumann, number one. Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann is a very, I don't know. Glenn Schumann, he could be so damn good. And I feel like we have to try him out no matter what. We have to get him on board. I just feel like he would improve the linebacking core immediately. That's his specialty. But he's been there. He's done that. He's got the rings to prove it. We've written extensively about Glenn Schumann. We're gonna have a more in-depth piece because I feel like he's the next natural target for LSU. I've heard whispers. We'll get into that when more people. We'll get into that when more people join. That's a part of the other big news. But Pete Golding is also up there. I like him. I want to steal him from Alabama. You know, if you can hurt Alabama, hurt Nick Saban, Pete Golding is one of the only guys you can trust. And then you have to bring in Jeremy Pruitt. Maybe Pruitt gets Alabama into NCAA disarray. Or Leonard from Wisconsin. I really like this guy. I mean, I loved watching him play anyway, but his first game as a coach, as an assistant whatsoever, after his short NFL career, was against LSU at Lambeau Field, the Brandon Harris game. He was the DB's coach, Jim Leonard. Okay, and he had a safety and a corner intercept Brandon Harris, both of his guys. And he celebrates like crazy. I've seen the footage again. And I remember watching at the time there, the announcer talking about Jim Leonard, this is first year's DB's coach. They're doing a great job. And Brandon Harris, they did a fantastic job on him, but Brandon Harris just bailed them out too as well. But still, credit to him. They shut LSU down that day. And LSU had far more talented skill position guys. But Leonard and his guys shut us down. And Leonard is very interesting. He's young, he's fiery, energetic. It seems like he's a 4-3-3-4 mixed guy. Like he's more hybridized. I don't know. Let me look at that. Real quick. See if Leonard is a 3-4. Because I don't think it really matters, but I know for Coach O it matters. Defense. Let's see. Yeah, they run a base 3-4, so okay. They run a 3-4. Okay. Most teams run a 3-4 nowadays. Here's the thing. For me, I see the advantages to using both, and I don't understand why Bo Pelini or I've heard that's another thing I'll get into. Bo Pelini or whoever ran that defense last year, that they just seem to be stuck in the 4-3 over and over and over and over, just 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. And it was like, okay, now that we know exactly how many down linemen they're going to use every time, we know exactly where they're going to rush from. Exactly. It's okay. We know exactly what to plan for. We know exactly what to do. Maybe after the first two drives, LSU are successful, and then the other team's like, okay, this is what they're doing. And it's just too easy. You need to mix it up. You need to mix up formations. It's a joke if you don't. It's too easy if you don't. You're going to get destroyed if you don't. I think it's definitely, that's why Marcus Freeman was a candidate. I think it's definitely why Ryan Nielsen's a 4-3 proponent. But you also saw him using 3 down linemen as well. So it's never about that. You can also have Ali Guy drop into coverage at the last second. I can see interceptions being had easily like that. I could have seen LSU stopping red zone slant passes by having Ali Gay, instead of rushing the passer, which he's not going to get to in time because the quarterback's going to have the ball out of his hand in 1.5 seconds anyway, have him drop, not have to, and then shed a block and then jump. Have him just drop. And so he's immediately cutting off that inside route anyway. So then even if the most accurate quarterback makes that throw, it's going to be immediately like right into this area. Ali Gay swipes at it, he's back here at that time, and he's catching it. So either way, you have Ali Gay right here, and then right as he snaps the ball, he's dropping back. So even if they run the football, say they run the football right at Ali Gay, they detect that he's dropping back, the worst case scenario, okay? He's dropping back, and then they start running the ball. Even Ali Gay has the speed and the torch to completely pursue that and stop that off the edge before they got there. This is something I'm talking about, red zone, 8-9 yard line. When you're getting on the 3-2 yard line, this is when that's just a little untenable to have Ali Gay dropping into the end zone, because then it's just too easy if you have a mobile quarterback, because then they can easily beat Ali Gay in a one-on-one race off that edge. Can they beat his long arms though? That's the thing. Ali Gay could reach out and get him. I wouldn't be shocked. But there's just a myriad of ways you can use these guys, and I don't think LSU is doing it enough. They didn't do it enough in 2020. We didn't even use certain players. Philip Webb, I heard he was injured. Sure, okay, but he wasn't injured by at least the first game, I thought, and he wasn't out there at all. Jacobian Guillory, we didn't use him at all, and then we finally used him, and he was hurt before we knew it. And yeah, I know he was hurt, had something ankle problem in like the second game of the season, but before that, didn't really use him at all against Mississippi State. Micah Baskerville, it felt like until the 6th game of the season, we finally saw him, and he was fantastic. Bo Pelini repped him, and I don't know why we didn't see him. So we got to see these guys. We got to see the deep bench that LSU has on defense. Jordan Tolles, we only saw him a few times. He got torched, and then we never saw him again. I feel bad for the guy. Mo Hampton took some horrible angles, but I think he's going to have a great 2021. Todd Harris, he actually contributed to a few turnovers, and I think he could have a really damn good 2021 as well, as another senior chance for him. I think all the repeat seniors are going to have a fantastic 2021, and I think it's going to come really down to the wire with LSU and Alabama. I think we can beat them. I think we can. Mac Jones, I haven't heard exactly one way or another, but I believe he will be going to the NFL. I thought he was going to return. That was my initial gut reaction without even looking, was Mac's going to return. That's what Alabama quarterbacks do. He wants to win another title, and it looks like he's gone to the NFL. Let's see here. Mac Jones, NFL. Mac Jones facing huge opportunity to boost stock at Senior Bowl. No, let's just see players. Yeah, yeah. Old news. That's just why I don't pay attention to Alabama. Mac Jones already has. So Bryce Young, sophomore, will be the quarterback. Bryce Young had a lot of time to play this last year, and from everything I've heard, he's damn good. And a good buddy, Rashad Davis, Race John. I think I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Is it Rashawn? Rush John or Race John? Yeah, I think it's Race John. No. Rashawn. Well, I think it is Rashawn. Yeah, Rashawn Davis. Rajon Davis, I think. Oh, where was I now? What was I talking about? Completely just had a mind melt there because I was trying to get caught up in this, complete serendipity over his name being potentially mispronounced by me. Rashad Davis Sr. He really loves Bryce Young because Bryce Young played a lot there in California right before his eyes, and he said that Bryce Young was going to be fantastic at Alabama, and he was sad he chose LSU, but yeah, he had nothing but great things to say about Bryce Young, and I'm going to take his word on that. Bryce Young he looks polished, but does he scare me? Does he scare you as an LSU fan? He shouldn't. I'm not scared by what Alabama has returning. LSU is a lot returning though, and then we have a lot coming in. It's very exciting for an LSU fan because more great news. Okay, for the people who've actually stayed, I've waited for, just to tell you guys this. Arik Gilbert, this isn't definitive, this is 100%, but I have heard from people within the team, on the team, who've told me that Arik Gilbert's mother is really pushing hard for him to come back to LSU, and that she wants him to kind of finish what he started. And that's kind of like a family, finish what you started type thing. And she really likes LSU and really believes in Coach O. And, I know Arik Gilbert going through some things, and I don't claim to know exactly every little tiny detail of those things. And I haven't really gone looking for that because he's a kid, and I care about him, and I feel bad that people have gone prying into that type of stuff, because we don't here at LSU Odyssey. We don't care what people do in their private lives unless it's hurting others. Then all bets are off. But if you're not hurting other people or yourself, then I don't really see what the deal is here. But Arik Gilbert, his life had been thrown into the dirt and stuff, but all that seems to have passed. It seems some distance from those issues of LSU environment caused, and Arik Gilbert himself caused, and the team caused. It seems like those issues have had some time to digest, and it seems like Arik Gilbert is hopefully on his way back to LSU. I'm not going to say he's coming back. I'm not going to say, oh, yes. Hopefully. I am hearing great things, though. Like, great things. But it feels like we've been cursed lately at LSU, right? When you think, like, oh my gosh, this is about to happen. And kind of boom. So I'm, hopefully Arik Gilbert comes back, but that's what I'm hearing. Strong stuff. So instead of 80-20, I'm now going to say 90-10, 95-5, really. Like, I'm almost close to calling it a lock. Like, this, basically, based on what I heard. Yeah. As far as the DC search, I'm hearing whispers, strong whispers, that LSU have not only targeted Glenn Schumann, which I did have a list of names of people they were at least going to contact and run through. But the names for DC: Glenn Schumann, Georgia, of course. And that's no surprise. But is it a shock that he's number one? Is there another name in the NFL, perhaps? We're hearing there's another name in the NFL. We're hearing there's a guy that Coach O is thinking some big things about. Maybe like this is the guy who can solve this issue and this issue and this issue. And I'm hearing it's an interesting name. And I feel like this guy, he's fantastic. I've looked into him. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, I have seen that guy on the sidelines a few times. I've seen him in action, but I haven't researched him. And it's a fantastic resume. Eric Washington, he was D-line coach with Carolina Panthers, and they were in the 2016 Super Bowl or 2017 Super Bowl, 2015 maybe. Either way, they lost that Super Bowl barely to the Broncos because of the Newton fumble, and that defensive line was awesome. And he was the leader of that defensive line. He's been the leader of the defensive line of the Chicago, from 2008 clear up until 2010, and then he was. It seemed like, he was the leader of the Buffalo Bills defensive line since for this year, and they've been fantastic. They've been unbelievable, just freight trains of pain, and all the way to the AFC title game. That's a name that has excited a few people who said that Coach O was very interested in Eric Washington. We'll see. If he doesn't interview him, obviously he wasn't. Obviously he wasn't interested enough to roll the dice or make that move. Or maybe Eric Washington wasn't interested enough to make that move. That's the thing here. I know LSU is a highly coveted job, and it should be. But there's a lot of guys who are saying yes to us, and then after they give it some thought, then they back out. What does that tell you? That tells you that some people are saying LSU isn't worth the risk for them. Is that they're freaked out by the violations of the NCAA, which are such minor, ridiculous witch hunt things that are never going to affect the program, or is it the sexual assault cover-up allegations, which in and of itself looks horrible for the program, is horrible for the program, and we've got to find out exactly who is responsible and behind that and get them away from LSU before too much damage comes to the reputation of this great program, this great school, this great university. We have to find out who was behind that and get them out of here. And I'm not sure if that's affecting every single hire, every single recruit, every single thing. I'm not sure, but it's definitely in the background. It's definitely something that negative recruiters, it's just easy fodder for them to use. It's just right there. It's too easy. So expect that. Expect negative recruiting by people who want to keep their coaches. That's the thing is, I heard that Coach O was out-recruited by Sean Payton to keep Ryan Nielsen. I don't believe that. I just believe money talks and prestige in the NFL talks. And Sean Payton probably felt betrayed and probably milked that guilt trip for all it was worth. It's bizarre. But anyway, LSU Odyssey, we got some stuff going. The top 10 Tigers of 2020. We're down to the top 5 here. We just finished number 6, and number 6 is fantastic. Number 7. Who's number 7? He's the only person on the team to have these 4 different stats all at once. Number 8, who is it? Number 9, who? Number 10, who's this freshman? It's a very cool list. Now we're getting to the top 5 where it's about to explode and get really insane, but there's no context unless you read those first ones, and they're damn quick. I'm trying to make this a lot quicker, a lot snappier, trying to make this easy to read for you guys, and that's my goal, is to make it an entertaining piece. an accurate, entertaining, fun, creative, insightful, informative piece. And that's our goal every time. That's our goal, even with these things. Like a lot of this is just opinion, but then there are things I'm putting in there that are 100% same things that we'd be reporting on Twitter, through our articles. It doesn't matter. The change of platform does not matter. Okay, that is 100% with us. That is 100% with what we do. And I want to thank you, Taylor Johnson, today's subscriber. Thank you, my man. Thank you for joining us. Welcome aboard. PCO Clothing 9, my man. AD, the creative consultant. Maybe not creative consultant, but I'd say content consultant. Content consultant for LSUODYSSEY.com. He does a good job trying to steer me at times, trying to say, hey, watch out for the sirens over here, get away over from here, hey, focus right here. He's if I had the money to hire a staff member right now, I wouldn't hesitate. AD would be hired immediately. So if you ever are shocked by seeing AD as part of the LSU Odyssey official team, don't be, because he basically is. And if you're ever hired, that's the thing. Don't be shocked by that. Also, what was I going to say after that? I wanted to do a shout out to somebody. Oh yeah, Mary Rose, what's up? Take it easy. Well, everybody, have a good one. Go Tigers. I hope this was cool. Yeah. So, in conclusion, a lot of great guys coming back. The DC search continues. A few really good names. Some high octane energy potentially coming in through those doors. Don't read into the Eli Ricks things until you see something real, And believe me, if that sky was falling, we'd be posting about it. But yeah, our number one goal, our number one mission is just to try and make Tigers the most informed. So when we post something that may be bad for LSU, may not be a good thing for LSU, isn't because I want that thing to happen. It's not because I'm like, die LSU all of a sudden, fuck LSU. No. It's because that's the reality. That's the truth. That's the fluid truth at that moment that Eli Ricks is mulling transferring, and that was proven. That was proven with all the available information out there that it's a fluid truth. But just like Arik Gilbert, there was the fluid truth of him transferring, and then he did. So if you're going to kill me for the Freeman thing, you can't kill me for Ryan Nielsen either, And then if you can't kill me for Ryan Nielsen, then you can't kill me for Freeman either, because if you look at the situations, both told everybody within LSU, we're coming. So, wonder who we're talking to. Wonder who we're reporting from. So no, Ross Dellinger, those guys are not the only journalists in the world. Just so you know, come from a family of journalists. So, yeah, family of writers as well. So that's the thing we do. That's what we love to do, and we're going to keep doing it here at LSUODYSSEY.com. We make no apologies for what we do. We make no compromises, no concessions. We try to just entertain the people who love to read what we do. And if there's something you want us to write, if something, a great idea that we think that would be great for everybody to read, we'll do it. There's many people who've sent me an idea, and we've done that. There's many people who can attest to that. We've had subscribers ask players questions. Mike Watson, a subscriber of ours, AD, they can attest to that. At the time, I had Mike Watson ask Kayshon Boutte a few questions right before game week against Mississippi State. It was crazy. And yeah, he relayed those questions. His question, I believe, was, "Are you more comfortable in the slot or out wide?" And Keishawn Butte was like, "I'm good anywhere." And I was like, "Hell yeah, of course he's gonna say that." And then he, you know, like just absolute grade A dude. He comes out there and just torches it in his freshman years too. So yeah, it wasn't enough for an interview, but it was enough to get some subscriber questions and have him answer a few things with them. It was cool. And BJO Gilardi answered some questions from the subscribers as well. It was cool. So LSU Odyssey subscribers will be able to ask players questions. That's the thing is I'll submit them. It's up to these guys to answer, but that's the thing is I'll submit them. And we have a fortified relationship with a few of them, and it's because we're just chill. We just say, hey, what's up? And if they want to do it, they want to do it. If they don't, they don't. It's not really this thing where we're forcing people to do anything with McDonald's bags or anything like that. If we had the McDonald's bags full of cash, we'd do it, but we don't. So, but hey, we do what we can here, and there's some really cool interviews coming up. We've got an interview with Terrion Williams. We got an interview with Creed Stubbs coming out, and then we got an interview with DeColdis Crawford in the makings, Corey Kiner in the makings. There's some things that some I's I got to dot and some T's I got to cross, but we'll be trying to get those out to you as soon as possible, one after another. But there's a lot going on at LSUODYSSEY.com. Bigger things than that. Stuff I can't even speak on because I can't even believe some of the stuff I wake up to on my phone some days. It's great. This was a very good thing, especially for LSUODYSSEY.com's future, especially for anybody who loves LSU as well. So everybody, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much if you watch this. I really appreciate it. If you read my articles, thank you so much, because I know it's a lot of time out of your day to divert your attention from every single thing and then read someone's words. It's unbelievable. I really appreciate that. I do not take that for granted. That is not lost on me. Thank you so much. You're the reason I keep doing this, is just because I know that there's at least some people who'd care about it. And it's because of you guys that I do it. So I also do it for me too, though. I love to do this. This is what I do. I write about many different things, music as well, as well as sports, films. I write fiction as well as nonfiction. I'll write anything I feel like it. But LSU, sometimes there's nothing better than writing LSU football, and I'm addicted to it. Go Tigers, baby.